Ladies and gentlemen, this is Wrestling911 Audio, Episode 2, and today we're going to be broadening our horizons a bit and talking about WWE superstars. I'm going to be telling you my personal thoughts, Snowman Jones's thoughts on the top superstars in the WWE. We're going to kick it off with WWE Champion in August 2012, CM Punk. Okay, so my thoughts on CM Punk. First off, like a lot of folks, I'm very happy to see this guy get his shot in the WWE. I first started watching CM Punk in his Ring of Honor days. He had a feud going with Raven, and I know everyone at the time was very excited that Raven was giving CM Punk this rub. And this was probably about 2003, maybe? You historians can leave some comments and let me know, because you can look it up. But it was back in the day for Ring of Honor. CM Punk was interesting. He didn't have as many tattoos. He wasn't in as good a shape. He did look a little pasty, but you could tell the guy had charisma. He had that special it factor that we've all been talking about. So he cut great promos. I think one of them, these two got into a fight in like a bar. It was kind of very Stevie Richards, Raven kind of feeling. And it was good stuff. And it really established CM Punk as an indie star in the Northeast. I didn't get to watch much of him until, from Ring of Honor, I watched him for a couple of years. Then I watched him once he came to the WWE, and by then everyone knew he had what it took. I actually ran into CM Punk in Florida Championship Wrestling. He was there hanging out with Colt Cabana at the time, who was a developmental superstar. And it was really interesting to see that those two really have a special bond. And certainly as CM Punk gets more power in the company, I would hope that he's able to bring Colt Cabana back, because Colt, Scotty Goldman was his WWE name. Colt had a lot of charisma, a lot of personality, could cut a promo. I think he has to really make it in the WWE, they have to somehow let his personality shine and not package him as, I don't know what his gimmick was, Jewish comedian wrestler. It just didn't work. Next up is Sheamus. He's the World Heavyweight Champion, and before we go into that, I still don't like that WWE has two major heavyweight titles. They got World and WWE, and then Intercontinental. I really don't know the difference between the three. Certainly the World Championship and WWE, somehow they just need to combine or retire one. The World Championship certainly has a lot of legacy. It's a cool belt. It has cool history. But why they're defending both is just confusing to the average fan. I think it lessens the value of a heavyweight champion. Sorry folks, we had technical difficulties there. But as I was saying, going back to Sheamus, you just don't need several heavyweight championships like that. But Sheamus, great athlete, really nice guy. I got to meet him again in Tampa several times when he was the Florida Championship Wrestling heavyweight champion. He had his act together. He was very, hung out, cool guy, really athletic. At the time when I met him, he was feuding with Jack Swagger, Jake Hager, I believe he went by at the time. Sheamus has a lot of potential. Hopefully he'll stick around. They'll continue to push him. I like the guy. Next up is The Miz. The Miz actually first impressed me when I was watching a Fear Factor episode, surprisingly. And the reason I liked him is because it was a couples episode or whatever, and they had different teams, and there was one guy who was being somewhat abusive verbally with his girlfriend. And, the guy tried to be Billy Badass and kind of step up to his girlfriend like he was going to hit her, and the Miz stepped in. And in a real life situation, it meant a lot that Miz actually had the cojones to go ahead and step into a situation like that. So I like the Miz. Santino Marella, the Milan Miracle. First time I saw him was obviously that Raw in Italy, in Milan, when he stepped up and got the upset victory. It was a cool way to start off his career. Fans loved it. He's a very talented, very interesting guy. Surprised they have him as the U.S. champion in August 2012, because I don't know that physically he's as gifted as some folks. He's not a real big guy. He doesn't come across as the most dominant wrestler in the bunch, but hand it to Santino. He's riding the gimmick. He's kind of a goofball. People like the Cobra. He's a cool guy. Layla, I don't know. I've watched Layla for a few years. There's nothing about Layla that really, really impresses me. She's She's sound as a women's WWE quality wrestler. She's a good-looking lady, but just not in love with Layla. Some people are, I'm not. And the tag team champions, Kofi Kingston and R-Truth. And let me be frank with you here. The last couple Raws that I've seen, AEW, formerly Abraham Washington, has been kind of feuding with Kofi Kingston and R-Truth, and they've been throwing in, essentially, seemingly, it seems like they're just putting 4 or 5 guys in the ring that are black, just for the, I don't know, it just seems like WWE just runs black guys with black guys against black guys. It seems that it seems racially motivated, and I don't quite understand why the WWE can't just get over skin color, let people wrestle for the sake of wrestling. Just seems like they just threw 5 black superstars in the ring and have them going for the tag team titles without real rhyme or reason. And maybe it's just because I'm watching it from the outside and I don't get to see enough WWE. But Kofi Kingston, real cool guy. Like the guy. I've met his family. It was funny, actually, the day that I met his wife, I believe she was, or baby mama, I'm not certain. She sat next to me. We hung out for about 3-4 hours, and the first couple times I said his name, I was pronouncing it more like coffee. Kofi Kingston. You see, I keep doing it now, but it certainly was embarrassing to be hanging out with the guy's wife and not saying his name right. So Kofi Kingston, cool guy. I keep screwing up his name. I do the same thing with Sabu. Cool guy. I hate to screw up his name because he's not afraid to smack you upside the head. R-Truth, got a lot of talent. I've never been a huge R-Truth fan. Was it 3 Live Crew in TNA? I think he was former TNA heavyweight champion. Great guy, but his work in the ring, I'm not a huge fan of. Just how it is. If we're going to go alphabetically after we hit the WWE champions, we might as well go with AEW. Abraham Washington. Interesting thing about AEW is when he came to Florida Championship Wrestling, when he was a developmental superstar, he introduced himself as Abraham Saddam Lincoln. The announcer introduced him as Abraham Saddam Washington. So there was some confusion about his name. It eventually got shortened down in the coming weeks to Abraham Washington. And actually I was sitting there with Steve Kern's wife, Terry, and a few of the superstars of FCW, some of the legends. And it was funny because whenever Abraham Washington came to the ring, everybody shut up. And you could tell everyone was saying that this guy was going to be a superstar. They were comparing him to a young Rocky Maivia. Hasn't got there yet, but in terms of his overall skill and his charisma, if this guy can last 15, 20 years in the ring, his verbal skills on the mic are going to make it. That's all I got to say on that one. Next up, alphabetically, for WWE superstars that I want to talk about, AJ Lee. AJ I actually saw right after she signed with the WWE. And I talked with her once or twice at FCW, Florida Championship Wrestling, where she trained. Thing I liked about AJ, first off, she's super cute. That little hop she does to the ring, I love it. I know a lot of people don't like the fact that she's kind of the general manager and she's getting involved with CM Punk and Bryan Daniels right now, Daniel Bryan. She's got a lot of energy. And you know what? When she came to training at FCW, the thing that I noted about her is that girl could go. Compared to a lot of the other women that got in the ring, Naomi Campbell or Oksana, when they signed with WWE, even the Guerrero daughter that's there now, AJ was by far the best wrestler of the bunch. And frankly, maybe I just have a thing for short women, but she was really cute. And a couple times I got to talk with her. She was really nice with me, so I love to see that she's getting pushed right now. By contrast, Oksana, who, when she came to the developmental league with FCW, she was blonde. She had a little bit of a gimmick where she'd interview people, and she spoke horrible English. I guess she got a Russian accent. Had very little wrestling skill, and she was hired because she's absolutely gorgeous. I've never liked her as a wrestler. maybe it's because I had to sit through her for 2 years of broken English, where they forced her into gimmicks and forced her into trying to talk. She was not my favorite superstar to watch grow up. But she's in WWE now. Good for her. I hope she develops well. Alberto Del Rio, that's another guy that I got to see develop in Florida Championship Wrestling, just going alphabetically. Alberto, I've never sat down and talked with the guy. Seems to me that he might even wrestled under a mask at some point while he was training in Florida Championship Wrestling. You could tell that he had skill. I never thought he would get as hard of a push in the WWE as he did. I probably only watched him for half dozen matches before he got the call up to WWE. Very talented, very, very charismatic. I like the fact that he drives the expensive cars and stuff. He's kind of got a modern era version of Razor Ramon to him, so I like the guy. We'll probably get through the A's today, which means Alex Riley is up next. I've also, and maybe it's his ex-girlfriend or ex-wife now, I sat with his family before. He used to wear a Letterman jacket and interesting family. I think even on Facebook I'm friends with his girlfriend. It seemed like he had just had a kid 2-3 years ago when he was breaking into the industry. Alex has a lot of talent. I'm not as big a fan of Alex Riley's work. I haven't seen him blossom really yet. You know, you look at the guy, he's suntan, he's in good shape, but there's nothing that screams special about him to me. And I hope he gets the opportunity to develop. I just think he's too fresh to be on national TV right now. In my mind, he still has a little bit of room to go. Next up alphabetically, talking about the superstars of the WWE, Alicia Fox. Alicia Fox, Victoria Crawford is what I knew her as when she was a model and when she was in training. Frankly, is one of the friendliest, nicest ladies I know. She has a great smile. She's very sweet. I got nothing but good things to say about her. I like that she's getting pushed. I like that she can actually wrestle. She's a cool lady. Like, if you ever get a chance to sit down with her, she just has a bubbly personality. She's a good dancer. If you've seen her with DJ Gabriel, take a moment, check out Alicia Fox. And then finally, Antonio Cesaro. Frankly, I don't know a lot about the guy. He's in good shape. He's a good athlete. Hopefully we'll see more of him, but I have not followed his career too closely. So I guess he's got a lot going for him physically, very gifted individual. So we're going to have to see where this guy goes. With that, folks, that's the A's, the A-list from Florida Wrestling911 audio. Check us out. We're going to try to do a few more shows. If we get a lot of views, we get a lot of comments, we'll keep doing this. If we don't, we might cut it. Anyway, I'm Snowman Jones giving you your latest and my personal reviews on WWE superstars.